Hi there, awesome friends. So today I wanted to share with you 2 tricks that I have done using an embossing folder. So I've just got this new embossing folder which I have been coveting for so long, and I was really fortunate to get it. It's kind of, the industrial steampunk look, and I love it. But I wanted to show you 2 quick tricks so that you can see how you can make this look different. So the first one is, it's just been embossed through the embossing machine, which I have a little Sizzix, and colouring it in with my black Sharpie. And this one is near its end. You can see the nib is really flat and it is not so dark. That's the first one, all coloured in. Put that aside to dry. Then the second one that I've got, I actually want to do a little bit of work on it. So using a very small ball tool, I'm sure you can see the nib there, or a ballpoint pen, I'm going to go around some of the little raised areas. Okie. Okay, you can see I've gone through over there, and let's do some more here. And I find by adding just a little bit more effort here, you're going to have a totally different look. So you can see I've done that row. I'll do the last one there, I didn't do it. Okay, and now I'm going to ink it. So remember, if you have embossing folders, that's a really quick way to cheat, and I'm using 70 micron metal tape, which is thicker than the other. But if you don't have 70 micron tape, put your thin 30 micron tape onto some light card and then put it through your embossing machine, and you can create a similar look. Okay, so we'll let that one dry. Okay, here we have another piece, exactly the same. I've used all my offcuts to just run through the embossing machine. So we're going to do this as well. And this time I'm doing the circles a bit bigger. Okay. And I want to do a little bit of extra. I'm going to go outline some of the rectangles to make them more defined. And please note, I'm working on a flat surface. And here. Okay. And I think I'm going to add some maybe freehand little circles, just to enhance it a bit more. And maybe some dots. And here. Some dots, and maybe here. So because you're using an embossing folder doesn't mean you can only use the picture. Don't feel like you can't explore and add to it. And what else? Maybe 1 or 2 circles here, and I'll put a little cross so they look like screws. And perhaps the same thing here. I hope you can see in this light. The winter light is not very bright. I'll lift it up for you. Okay, so you can see I've added a few little extra circles, some dots and that, and we're going to colour this. Okay. And we'll let that dry. And while that's drying, we're going to just buff the other two. Whoopsie, sorry. So this one is the original embossed sheet. We have just inked it, and it's really lovely. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely love this. And then this is one that I added all kinds of little circles and things, just for some added interest. Isn't that lovely? And then this one I also circled some of the little dots. Such a beautiful, oopsie. So there you go. Just look at that. One embossing folder and you can add different looks. So now I've got these little strips. What shall I do with them? Of course, we love making ATC. So I am going to obviously make some ATC. And let's do that. Let's start. And I always find it easier to line it up from the back. Trying to see which side I like most there, I think. Okay, I've got a little strip there because obviously my scrap of metal tape wasn't big enough. Remember, when you've done any embossing on your 70 micron tape, it is actually better to cut it with scissors than it is to use a blade, because your craft knife kind of hooks on your embossed areas and can tear your tape. So I always use scissors. Okay. So here we go. And I'm flattening it with my fingers. I don't want to flatten the whole raised edge by using the credit card, so just flatten it onto here with your fingers. So we have done that. And as you know, I like to make pairs, and I really want to do two so that you can see the difference at the end of the day. And also, once again, I want to line it up straight. And there you go. And trim it from the back. My favorite scissors are these tiny little embroidery scissors. The only problem is I've got this tumor on my thumb that needs to be operated on, and every now and then my thumb slips through the hole of the scissors and I can't get them off my finger, which is quite hilarious. Okay, and then once again we'll smooth that down. So look how cute that is. So now we have these two little strips and we want to add something fun to that. As you know, I'm into my copper tape at the moment. It's just so beautiful. So let's use some copper tape. Unfortunately, some of the tape came with a crease in it, but I'm going to crumple it anyway so you won't know that. Okay, so there's my copper tape, and I hope I've cut it long enough. I was just guessing. Yes. Cut this in half so we don't waste. I was very blessed to get some copper tape from America. A friend brought it for me, but it is extremely thin. And when it comes to microns, somebody asked me what it is, and it doesn't show the microns on the actual roll, so I have no idea, but I would guesstimate that maybe it is about 20 micron. It's definitely thinner than than the normal metal tape that we have. And I don't want to waste that. So let's see if it's going to be big enough. Nope. So we have to use the other piece. Here we are. So working with the copper tape, it is definitely easier to crumple it first before using it. I want to put it this way because it's a straight line, not my cut area, cut edge. I'm trying to see so I can line it up well. So at this point, I don't think you get a heavier micron copper tape, because copper tape is actually used for guitars, for sealing things. It's very expensive. So I think that if you would be able to get copper tape in a heavy micron, it is going to be horrifically expensive and not available to us as crafters. So we have to learn how to use the copper tape. Okay, and I'm going to save that little strip for another day. Okay, it's trimmed. So here we have our two little ACT with a strip of copper on the sides, and I'm only smoothing down the copper with the credit card. Okay, so now I just want to color this one, actual copper, and on this one here, just trying to think, I'm going to use my card as a ruler because I'm too lazy to find my ruler, and draw a few lines. Once again, a little bit of extra effort makes such a difference. I find also using the ballpoint pen is much smoother on your copper. And just make sure whatever tool you're using is not hooky at all, because sometimes these they're actually dot art tools, or they're the cheaper pewter tools. Sometimes they become hooky. I don't know how to explain it, and then they can tear your copper tape. Copper tape, as you know, much thinner. So we've got to be a little bit more careful with it. I want to trim that section there. Okay, so we just drew some lines, and also going to ink it for you. So I think these two little ATC would be a really nice addition to your steampunk journal. I don't know what you would use them for, but that's actually what I would do. Although I have to share with you that I made some little fridge magnets recently, and they really came out cute. So I've got some ATC art on my fridge. So I like to distress the copper a little bit. Gives it that aged look. But obviously if you want the bright copper color, then just skip this and don't put any ink on it. Okay, look how cute that is. So which one do you prefer? Ordinary embossed or added interest? I must say I always go for the added interest, it's just me. And now, you know, I keep lots of magazines, and I kind of liked this. So I keep the magazines for sentiments. So I have to share with you that many months ago I was bored and I needed something to distract my mind, and my mojo was a bit sort of slack. So I spent a day cutting out sentiments out of magazines. And I have to tell you that it's an absolute waste of time to do that, because when you want looking for something, you've got to go through all these hundreds of flippin' sentiments that you've cut out. Whereas to me, it's easier to actually cut a sentiment out of a magazine when you need it. And funny enough, I always seem to get the right sentiment. And I think that looks so cute. We'll call it maybe hands up. What do you think? Let's see if there's another interesting sentiment that we can use here. Just having a look at my little magazines, seeing what we have here. If there's anything interesting. Oh, look at that. That's so cute. So yes, don't spend hours cutting out sentiments. Rather browse through a magazine when you're on the look for one. And this one says love affair. I don't know, you know, I mean, I like to be a little bit different. I mean, why must this lovely steampunkish thing be men or male related? We can definitely say that it is, let's see, a love affair. Or what's this one? It says over here, this is a nice word. So he says sound healing, but I don't want the sound, I just want the shift. So we'll trim the shift like that. Okay, so now we have our little words, and on this very, very untidy desk of mine, I found a pencil and I'm scribbling around the word. I'm not doing it very neatly, I must just tell you that. You can do this with a black pen. It just makes the word pop a bit and prevents the white from being so stark. So scribble around there. And the other thing that you must be aware of is that your hands get really dirty. So, you know, you're going to have your white bits that are slightly smudged. And sorry about that. And I'm going to glue those on. So what do you think? I'll decide exactly which words to use. Enjoy and show me what you make.